Okay. All right. Get this thing started. Well, good morning, everyone. All right, so I didn't do a list this week for the website, for the cinematic discussion website. So missed that list post because what I'm going to do is the next several, probably more than several lists are going to be the top 100 movies of the past 10 years. So I'm going to be running down, I'm going to be chunking them off. Probably, I think I'm every 10 is what I'm going to be doing. So we're going to be getting 100 through 91 today, then we'll be getting, 90 through 81, et cetera, et cetera. I believe the schedule will break down to having the top 10 movies of the past 10 years be released the weekend before New Year's Eve. So perfect timing. And I didn't even plan it that way, so it just worked out. So, let me just run them down for you guys. Number 100. So, yeah, we got a lot of new ones. The list is probably going to be newer and more recent, and it's going to get older as it goes on, just generally speaking. I think that's because things sit with me longer and resonate with me more. I can think about them more. It's not really nostalgia being, just the past 10 years or anything, but I think just having that time to sit with you definitely helps. So how I came up with this list is I took my top 10s from every year, and a couple of the years are a little screwed up, and they're probably not as perfect as these more recent years. The past, 5 years are pretty solid as far as, I didn't miss any like big movie that I really loved that isn't in the top 10, but some of the past years I might have. So I could have missed some things. This obviously isn't necessarily what I think is the absolute best. It's what my favorite is. I do tend to lean towards a lot of things that are considered best, and not just fun and good, like, enjoyable and whatever, things that make money. So I do lean more towards that stuff than the money making box office things. But, we'll see what all these movies are, I guess. But so I took all the years, and I just started grabbing the number ones, and I said, well, this is my favorite out of all the number ones. And then I basically said, I pieced them together 1 to 100, and I couldn't take a movie that was ranked number 3 in its respective year without taking 1 and 2 ahead of it. So that was sort of how I pieced together the top 100 movies for the past 10 years. I did a little bit of rearranging within the then groups of 10 that I had, but not much. So without further ado, number 100, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So for several years, this was, well, actually, for a while, I mean, this is still one of my favorite MCU movies. This is probably the best MCU movie still. I'm not sure if, Black Panther really took that crown from it. This is the first time that we saw the Russo brothers in the MCU, or working in the MCU, and now they're doing all these Avengers Infinity War things, and they're as big as can be. But at the time, it wasn't a for sure thing that they were going to make a good movie, and they absolutely did. They, you know, I think they shocked and surprised a lot of people with that one. But that's number 100. So number 99. Number 99 came out this year. Stars Emily Blunt and John Krasinski. And it was directed by John Krasinski. This is A Quiet Place. So A Quiet Place is one of my favorite movies this year. It has slid down my list a little bit over the past month or two. But, you know, I still really love it. I'd really like to watch it again. I've only watched it the one time. But just the way that they build, like the way that they've like built this world, and I like that world. And granted, it might not make a whole lot of sense. Like, you could pick it apart probably if you wanted to, but you know, with those types of movies, I feel like it's best to just suspend your disbelief for a little bit. Try not to pick it apart. not that you like actively attempt to not do it. That might help. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, A Quiet Place. I really liked that one. You know, it wasn't anything that was like super scary or whatever, but it was just really fun. It was a great time in the theater. It was a really, really fun movie theater experience. So number 98, we have another movie from this year. This one is directed by Gus Van Sant. This one is called Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. It stars Joaquin Phoenix. Jonah Hill is in this one. Rooney Mara. Jack Black has a small role. So this one is about a... Hey, Mom. This one is about a artist who struggles with addiction. He struggles with just bad things happening to him, and it takes place sort of in a rehab center, and then you get backstory on just everything that's happened. This movie absolutely floored me. I loved every minute of it. I didn't think that I was going to like it that much. I sort of put off watching it for a while because I didn't really think that I was going to enjoy it so much. But I love Joaquin Phoenix. I love Jonah Hill. So I love Rooney Mara. So I shouldn't have put it off. This movie was amazing. This movie was very good. I would recommend everybody seeing it. I think it's a super accessible movie. I think a lot of people would enjoy this movie. I'm wondering if it will get some Oscar look this season. I haven't really been paying attention to any of the predictions and the buzz around the Oscars and anything yet, so I'm not sure what the landscape is looking like for that, but it definitely deserves some recognition, that's for sure. So yeah, that's number 98. Don't worry, he won't get far on foot. Number 97. This is going to be one that came out in 2015. This is called The Big Short. This was the one with, sorry about that. So yeah, just the synopsis on this. In 2006 and 2007, a group of investors bet against the U.S. mortgage market. In their research, they discover how flawed and corrupt the market is. I mean, I think everybody has heard and seen about this. This movie is, got a lot of, it won some awards at the Oscars and everything. There's a ton of people in it. Steve Carell, Christian Bale, Ryan Gosling, all-star cast and everything. I didn't think the movie was quite as good as it got, as a lot of people made it out to be. I This was more towards the bottom of the top tens, obviously, in that year for me. But, it was good. I liked the acting. Yeah, I don't really have much to say on it. The Big Short. So, number 96 is going to be 2016 movie. This is going to be from the writer-director Taika Waititi. He was the writer and director of Thor Ragnarok. Hunting for the Wilder People. This movie is about a boy who runs away from his foster parent or whatever, and there's like a manhunt going to look for this kid. It's a really funny movie. This kid is absolutely hysterical. The way he delivers his lines and everything is great. I feel like I have to credit the direction on that. Like Taika's got to be, just all of his movies they're all funny, and that's got to be him. Not necessarily even like the writing, but just like he has to help his actors deliver this dialogue, I think, because all the movies sort of feel that way. It's got a lot of heart as well. This is a feel-good movie. You might need your box of tissues when you watch it, but this movie was underseen. I don't think it got talked about as much as it probably should have, but it was a very good movie. Highly recommend it. Hunt for the Wilder People. That's number 96. So, number 95. This was another really good one. This is going back a little bit. So this one was from 2010. This one was starring Mark Wahlberg, the fighter. Christian Bale also. I believe Christian Bale won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role. They both did a phenomenal job. This one was about the boxer Mickey Ward. It was based on a true story about him. Christian Bale played his brother, who was also a boxer, just not as famous and successful to everyone else. In his own mind, he was famous and successful, and that's what that was a big part of his character arc in the movie. Christian Bale's character arc in the movie, and he did an absolutely phenomenal job. I can't say enough about him. This is one of his finest roles. This is one of probably Mark Wahlberg's finest roles as well. It's one of my favorite Mark Wahlberg movies. The more I've seen it, the less I've liked it. So, I absolutely loved it. It was, to me, when I first saw it, it was just one of the best things that I had ever seen. And then after seeing it second and third time, it kind of went way downhill for me. But I still really enjoyed it, and I saw all these great things about it. It just wasn't quite as, it didn't have that same effect on me. So I haven't really watched it much since then. I've watched clips and certain scenes, but so take that for what it's worth. So that was number 95, The Fighter. Number 94, we have the Jeff Nichols written and directed Midnight Special. So this one was a film of the day post that Nick did several weeks ago when he was doing his Jeff Nichols run. This movie is about a kid and his dad who are on the run from police and like the government or whatever, as well as a cult. They're all tracking this kid down because this kid has like these special powers. This movie feels like it's an homage to a lot of like Spielberg stuff. You get like a lot of Close Encounters, E.T. There's a lot of there's a lot of nods and homages to those types of films in this. And it's sort of like a love letter to those movies. And I think it's absolutely amazing. It succeeds, you know, at that just tremendously. I don't think I like most people haven't seen this movie. I think some people might find it to be slow, but if you're any sort of cinephile, if you're any sort of like movie lover, if you like those old school, sci-fi movies like that, then I can't imagine you not loving this movie. So that's number 94, Midnight Special. So we get all the way to 93. This is one that has been on a couple of my lists before. I think like the date night list, it might have been on, maybe another one. Maybe that was the only one. So this is the Wes Anderson movie from 2012, Moonrise Kingdom. So this is just about this is a sort of puppy love story, or a young love story. This movie, just how it's directed and the certain shots that they have, it's classic Wes Anderson. I think that it doesn't quite get as much love as some of his other ones, but it absolutely deserves it. And I'm not sure why. I don't know why, because it's super accessible, and it's not like it's not the Darling Limited. Like I get why that one doesn't quite hit as well for the average person, but for Moonrise Kingdom, I really think that a lot of people would love this movie, and I think that a lot of people should love the movie. I think maybe people haven't seen it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. It's kind of confusing now that I think about it, but the cast is insane. I mean, if you go through and look at Bruce Willis, Edward Norton, Bill Murray, Frances McDormand, Tilda Swinton, Jason Schwartzman, Lucas Hedges. I mean, like the list goes on and on and on. It's absolutely insane. Okay, so that's number 93, Moonrise Kingdom. Get down to number 92. This is going to be a movie from 2011, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So this is the David Fincher movie. Steve Zaillian wrote the script. This was based on the book series. There was the Swedish movies that were made as well before this. David Fincher is a master to me. David Fincher, anything he does, I'm going to watch immediately. And really everything he's done as of late has been, I mean, a knockout. Really, there's only like a couple slight misfires that he's had, and everything else has just been near perfect. So this one wasn't quite near perfect. I think the more time this, unlike these other movies that I've talked about, like The Fighter, the more times I watch The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the more I like it. This one definitely is a little more difficult to digest. The content is super intense. The acting is insane. Rooney Mara just absolutely kills it. I think what killed this franchise with these actors moving forward is just Daniel Craig and money, and he probably wanted more money. Rooney Mara blew up too after this, so it was probably just difficult to get that core cast back together and everything, and figure out a story, because I think Daniel Craig, it wasn't even necessarily money. Daniel Craig wanted a story centered around him. He didn't want to just be some cameo small role. The opening credits to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo are absolutely insane. What is it? Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, they did the score and everything, and the music for this movie. So great. So great. I mean, just look up The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo opening credits on YouTube, and they're out there. You can watch them. It's awesome. So yeah, that's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, number 92. So that's the final one today. We have number 91, Whiplash. So this movie was written and directed by Damien Chazelle. He is the writer and director of First Man, as well as the writer and director of La La Land. So this was his first one that he did. I don't think it was his very first movie, but it was the first one of those three, one of these big movies that he's done. And that's 3 for 3, just absolutely knockouts for me. Oh, he also wrote 10 Cloverfield Lane, which that's pretty cool. But yeah, he's directed some other stuff. Yeah, A Guy and Madeline on a Park Bench. That's the one that he did. Now, Whiplash was the first that I heard of him and knew of him. This is the movie about the drummer that gets into the school. It's Miles Teller's the drummer, and what's his name? J.K. Simmons is the teacher, the professor, and he turns into this mentor figure, but he's also abusive in a way. This movie is so intense and so just what it shows what it takes to what you have to dedicate, what you have to sacrifice, what you have to like become the best and become great. Miles Teller blew me away. While I don't think that he is some amazing talent, I will forever be sold on his ability because of this movie. The final scene gives me goosebumps even thinking about. If you haven't seen Whiplash, drop what you're doing and go see it. So that's how we can end this video. Drop what you're doing and go see Whiplash. But actually, let's run down. So to recap, number 100 was Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Number 99 was A Quiet Place. Number 98 was Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. Number 97 was The Big Short. Number 96, Hunt for the Wilder People. Number 95, The Fighter. Number 94, Midnight Special. Number 93, Moonrise Kingdom. Number 92, Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. And 91, Whiplash. So, thanks for watching. This was the first part of the 10-part series that I'll be doing, running down the top 100 movies of the past 10 years. So, next week, we will be doing the 90 through 81, and the week after that, et cetera, et cetera. So thanks for checking in. We'll have the movie and TV talk first episode podcast with me and Nick on Monday night. So, stay tuned for that. Be ready for that. There's some new reviews and stuff up on the website. So thanks for watching, and check back next week. See you.